Hi guys, thanks for stopping by my channel tonight. I'm starting things off a little bit differently because last night I started making these 2-layer earrings. The back layer is black leather and the front layer is a patterned cork. I came home from work today to finish them up and I was just so excited to show them to you that I decided to record my intro after I was done. So stick around and watch. If you like the video or if you find something in it that's helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Those things really do help me to try to make my channel grow. If you have a question or a suggestion for me, leave it in the comment section. And if you'd like to see what I'll be working in the future, hit the subscribe button. If you want to get notifications, then also click the bell button. Let me show you this just a little bit more closely. There it is. Hopefully you can see that. And let's get started. Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. On today's video, I'm going to be making some leather and cork earrings. They'll be the shape of this black earring template here. The back layer will be black leather and the front layer will be patterned cork. Now, I want my back layer to be 3 inches tall. So I've selected this black shape. I can go up here to height and I can just click 3.0 for 3 inches tall. Now, it left a 9 there. Let me get rid of that. Okay, so that's 3 inches tall. Now, this is going to be my front layer. I want it to be the same shape, but I do want to make it smaller. So I want my front shape to be 2.35 inches tall. Okay, now I just want to put the red earring on top of the black earring to make sure I like the look of it, and I do. So I can go ahead and duplicate the black layer. I can go ahead and duplicate the cork layer. And now I just click Make It. Now I want my earrings to cut over on this side of the mat. And I know I want them to cut a little more than 2 inches down and a little more than 2 inches over from the right. So I'll just place them where I want them. And you'll see that that's where I put the leather on my mat, and that's why I'm moving the earrings to this position. So I'll go ahead and click Continue. I'm going to browse all materials. I'm going to select genuine leather, so I search for leather. Here's genuine leather. Click Done. Now, if you find that you need more pressure, if your machine isn't cutting what you're trying to cut very well, you can add more pressure. If it's cutting too deep, you can add less pressure. In my case, I've used this leather quite a bit, and I know it works very well on default. My software is telling me to make sure that I have my deep point blade in clamp B, and I'll show you that when I turn my camera around, which I'll go ahead and do now so that we can keep working. For these leather earrings, I want to go ahead and put some strong grip tape under the leather. My mat is pretty worn, so I feel like I need the extra adhesion. Okay, so I'm going to take the backing off, and I want the sticky side up. Okay, I'm going to turn it this way. That will work better with the leather I'm using. Okay, so sticky side up. It's not held down super well now, but I will brayer it on. Once I get my leather on, I'll brayer it on very well. Now, this is some black leather. I got it from a scrap bag at Hobby Lobby. It was a 2-pound bag. I think the list price on it was $5.99, and I would have used a coupon on it or got it on sale. So I'm going to lay that down. I'm going to put a go ahead and use my brayer. And then in addition to that, I want to use some good old Scotch tape that I bought at the Dollar Tree, 2 rolls for $1. Now I want to have my tape away from where I'm cutting. Let me give this another braying. Okay. I want to check and make sure that my deep point blade is clean. So I pull it out and push the blade out that way and get anything off of it that might be on it. Now I like to put a little pressure on this end of the mat. I'm ready to load my material. Now I'm just using the default pressure for this leather. I've used it before and I've had a lot of success with just the default pressure on this leather. And I'm ready to cut. Okay, so it cut twice and it was still a very short amount of time that it took. Let me go ahead and close this up. These are going to be some really large earrings. And look how beautifully they cut. You always want to be careful when you're taking the leather off so that you don't scratch it with your thumbnail. And then that strong grip tape is still under it, so I need to work it off. These cut really nicely, but I want you to see the details up close and personal. You can see that there is a little bit of fraying that sticks out from the side. And we're going to take care of that now. I use a lighter or an igniter, and I just, from the back side, never touching the front side, with constant motion, I just burn off those frays. Now let me get close so you can see. This has quite a bit of fraying on it. Hopefully you can see that in that picture. That's just the nature of leather. Now I have just a little bit of fraying left. I don't know if you can see it, but I ran out of the liquid that's in the lighter, so I'm just going to, again, from the back side at a steep angle, just cut the rest of that off. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm going to have a second layer on these. So let me get things set up again. Now this is the cork that I'm going to use tonight. I got this at Springfield Leather Company. There is the item number and the cost. I want to go ahead and take that off. Because that's where I'll be cutting. Okay, now I have a problem. I need to move it over. And my strong grip tape actually stuck to that. So I'm going to move it over so that it's still 2 inches down, but it's a lot closer to the side of the mat. That way I can get this side to fit on and I don't need to cut off and risk wasting. So I will have to change that on my screen. So let me cancel this cut. And all I'm doing is sliding those 2 teardrops over closer to the right edge of the mat. And now I'll click continue again. I'm clicking on the faux leather paper thin again. Now it wants me to load my fine point blade. So let me take my deep point blade out. I want to make sure this one's clean. Now the last thing before I send it through, I do want to add some tape. Now the tape's hanging over the side, so I need to push it over. Okay, so let me go ahead and load this. And let's send it to cut. Okay, let me go ahead and turn this off, move it out of the way. So in this case, the cork was cut through well. It's just that this was still stuck to the back of that, so it didn't look like they cut out. But they did. They cut out perfectly fine. And so these earrings are going to look like this. And then they'll have the little pinch thing in them there. And I'll make sure that's straighter than that. And they'll be pinched like that. Aren't those cute? Okay, so I have 2 layers of one taped together so that I can make the holes in it. I have a hole punch that I bought at Harbor Freight. I'm using the smallest punch that there is. Now I'm going to set it down on my earring very gently, not pushing down hard at all because I don't want to make an indentation in it until I know if it's in the right place. So I'm going to pull this up to my face really close. Okay, so I have it where I want it, and I'm just going to squeeze. And it punched it very nicely. So again, I'm just going to put it where I think I want it. I'm going to pull it over so I can see it really well and adjust if I need to. Okay, I think that looks like a good place for it. Hopefully you can kind of see that. So I'll just squeeze. And again, it punched all the way through. So the next thing I want to do is I want to open my jump ring. So I hold it like this. Here's the opening. And then use this little tool that I got on Amazon for very inexpensively. Something like $3, $4. And let's see where the opening is. Okay. I just twist it. You don't want to open your jump rings by pulling them apart because they won't go back together round. You want to twist it side to side. Now I'm going to pinch this together and I'm going to put my hook through it just so I can get all the pieces to line up correctly. Okay, so now I'm going to pull it together, pinch it together, and it's all lined up. Okay. Now from the top, I'm going to feed this through so that it goes through the other side. See how easy that was? It wasn't that easy when I first started. It was extremely difficult and frustrating to figure out how to get this thing to work correctly. So now I'm just going to twist those back together. And now I can take my tape off. Now, if I would have been thinking while I had it, I need to move that to the top. There we go. If I would have been thinking while I had the jump ring open, I would have put this on. That would have made a whole lot of sense, and I wouldn't have had to do another step. So now I can either open it a little bit and put this on, or I can open this. It's easier for me to open the jump ring. So I'm going to go ahead and move it back. Open it just slightly, very, very slightly. And I want my hook facing backwards. So I'll just lay that on. Now I can go ahead and close this back up. Perfect. To keep it pinched, I need to pull it up to the top. And then I want to move it so that the seam of my jump ring isn't showing from the top. So there we go. Now I'm going to tell you, this is my second one to do. I did this one first. Get it back where it goes. And it was quite a learning experience. So be gentle with yourself, be patient with yourself. It will come. It just takes a little bit of experimentation and a little bit of practice. So there's my earrings.